Welcome, everybody. Well, we have a house full this evening. It's November 7th, 2023. It's a no-miss November. Let's keep that in mind for this month for all of our schools. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, the board did meet in closed session this evening, and we will have Trustee Jacobson report that out for us.
The board met this evening on 4 items in closed session. 1, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant to Government Code 48918, considered for expulsion, student number 10000594405. We'll be having a vote. Novato Unified School District announcement for board meeting open session. On Tuesday, November 7th, 2023, the Novato Unified School District Board of Trustees met in closed session to review the Director of Student Services recommendation on stipulation expulsion of student number 10000594405. Based on the review of the staff's recommendation, Trustee Millerick made a motion to expel. The student will be expelled to Marin County Office of Education Marin Community School for the remainder of this semester plus 1 full semester through June of 2024 for the following Ed Code violation: 48900A1, 48900A2, 48900K, and 48900R. Trustee Pickus seconded the motion. Please passed and adopted this on the 7th day of November, 2023 at the regular meeting with the following votes. Trustee Butler.
Aye.
Trustee Gasson.
Aye.
Trustee Jacobson, aye. Trustee Lametta.
Aye.
Trustee Mack.
Aye.
Trustee Millerick.
Aye.
Trustee Pickus.
Aye.
7 votes yes, no votes no. Thank you. Item 2, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant to Government Code 48918C, consideration for expulsion, student number 10000722062. This was information only. Item 3, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session, public employee discipline, dismissal, release. This was information only as well. And last, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957 and 54957.6, conference with labor negotiators, Francesca Whitcomb, Executive Director of Human Resources, employee organization California State Employee Association, was information only as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. And just an announcement before we continue on to approving our agenda. We want to note that the meeting is being broadcasted on NUSD's YouTube channel at the direction of the board. The broadcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. So if you are in the audience here, you are on TV or on YouTube channel. All right, approval of our agenda. It stands as is. There's no changes in the order. So I just need to get a motion to approve that. Trustee Millerick?
Move approval of the agenda.
Thank you. Second, by Trustee Mack. All those in favor to approve our agenda? Magali? 7-0, and thank you on 1 provisionary student vote. Okay. A consent. There is 1 item on your desk in front of you, a 14E, just a minor revision to the MOU that was attached to this item. That's the only change. Does anybody want to pull anything for consent? Trustee Gasson.
Item 14TC.
TC. Okay.
It's just the exhibit for the high school
Okay.
graduation.
This is the table that's attached. Okay. Anybody else? Seeing none, I would need a motion excluding 14TC. First by Trustee Lametta. Second by Trustee Jacobson. All those in favor? Great. 7-0 and 2 student board members. All right. Should we go to yours? Is it pretty simple?
It's really quick.
Okay, let's do yours then. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
do that right now.
Just
take
wanted
that.
to say I'm so grateful and appreciate the work I understand Julie did on making this table for our high school graduates to or high school students to understand the graduation requirements for NUSD and also what we need to do for CSU and UC. As a mom with a junior, it was extremely helpful having it all outlined in this great chart, and I look forward to seeing it around school to help the kids. So thank you. So I would like to move item 14 TC, the exhibit 6146.1.
Okay, thank you for that. A second for that item, trustee Jacobson. All those in favor? 7-0 and 2 student board member votes. All right, we are now on to announcements from our student board members and our trustees as well, so.
So from San Marin, we had a really big football game on Saturday against MC for our MCAL title, and that was a huge success for our school. We haven't beat MC in 17 years, and so it adds another MCAL win in our book, so that's really good. And both our JV and varsity football teams went undefeated this year, 10-0. For our Halloween block party with the Novato Mothers Club, it was very, very successful. We had a big food booth, we had a music booth, we handed out candy to little kids. It was really fun. And we also had 4 clubs participate, and so we're moving it to more of a club-based event as opposed to an ASB-based event in future years coming. Our STEM applications opened up on November 1st, and they close on January 9th. Our teen clinic had their first visit this week through the Wellness Hub. I believe it was yesterday. And 2 of our fall sports teams, men's water polo and women's volleyball, made it to NCS playoffs this year. And this has also been San Marin's volleyball's highest seed in NCS since 2015. Our winter sports just started this week. And a couple of meeting announcements. Our Physics of Sports Night on November 7th at 5:30 in the PAC. Our NCS football playoff game this Friday against Kennedy is at 7, and the theme is neon, so come and support us. Social media parent night is on November 8th at 7 in the library. On November 15th, we have a rock band performing at 7 o'clock at Hump Monk, so come support them as well. And we have also a Zach Wilhelm and Pitt Army basketball game on November 22nd at 6:30, and it raises money for those 2 scholarships towards our students at the school. And finally, on November 29th, we have our e-bike safety and info night at 6 o'clock in our PAC Center at San Marin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello. NHS celebrated Dia de los Muertos on November 1st with student-run singing and storytelling. It was so beautiful, located in the library. Many students came together to build an altar, which is also called an ofrenda, and this event is growing each year, so it's super exciting to get more student participation within clubs and also leadership. Our annual canned food drive started on Monday and ends next week on November 16th. All items will be donated to a local food bank. We make this a Spirit Point competition to get maximum participation within each grade level. MSA Foley's also opens this Friday and runs this weekend and next weekend in the Center for the Arts. They always do such an amazing job, so make sure to go support them. And everyone's looking forward to the Thanksgiving break and relaxing week off. So thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Miller.
No comments this evening.
Trustee
thanks.
Pickus.
Yeah, I attended the first special ed info session of the year, and that was really great. There were a couple of great presentations. The director of our local SELPA presented and just gave a really thorough presentation of how SELPA works, the services it provides, and I believe you sent out the slide deck in your email, so it's a great way to access that information is to check that email. We looked at the results from the family survey last year. Those were also sent out, so I appreciate you including that to make sure that that information is going out. And our next meeting will be on January 25th, so I encourage any families who are interested to come either in person or there's going to be a Zoom option as well, which is great. So for our special ed families to come and learn more about what's going on. Thank you.
Trustee Lametta.
No announcements this evening.
Thank you. Trustee Gasson.
So it was a great couple of weeks with site visits and meetings and events. The first parcel tax oversight meeting with Josh was held, I think, last week. It went really well, and I'm looking forward to the next annual report. I attended the school's rural schools rule event at Marin County Office of Education, and that's always a great and fun event. You get to see the community members or partners and how the schools are going to be using the funds that they are granted. School fuel was awarded $176,000, which was amazing. I also participated in a meeting that was coordinated through Marin County Office of Ed and Ball and Frost to speak to a representative from the Legislative Analyst Office about the Universal School Lunch Program. And I appreciate Cody, our Food Services Director, giving me the scoop on how it's working for our school sites. As I mentioned at a prior meeting, it's a little different for us and San Rafael compared to the rest of the county in terms of how the program is working. So that was really helpful. I also attended North Marin Council PTA meeting on Friday and enjoyed listening to what's going on at each of the schools. There was also discussion about e-bikes, and I was happy to hear about that meeting, I think, at the end of the month, because we've got a lot of discussion around that at schools and the safety for kids. So in collaboration, I think, with Safe Routes and Nevada Police Department, it'll be a great opportunity to learn more as a student and also as a parent about the laws surrounding them and how to be safe. And then I was at the Drowsy Chaperone at San Marin most of this weekend, and I'm just so grateful for the teachers, the staff, and the volunteers who all make these types of things happen for our kids. So that was great.
Thank you. Trustee Mack.
Just one thing, I had the opportunity to talk to Mike Casper regarding middle school sports, and we seem to be on a good path there. More to come.
Nice. Thank you. Trustee Jacobson.
Okay, site visits at Linwood and Novato High. Always great to go see what's happening at the schools. I attended the Budget Advisory Committee. We have community members that are engaging with our staff on how the budget looks and is reported on, and more to come there. I attended the school fuel board meeting. The softball tournament that I've been talking about for weeks was extremely successful. There were over 180 participants, over $7,500 was raised, and I want to thank everyone that participated. Also, Schools Rule awarded $177,000 to our local fundraising entity, and with that, School Fuel gives out grants to all of the various groups that apply for those. They're currently making those reviews now, and they had the most grant applications they've ever had, which was fantastic. And the district has received money from Prop 28, which is to fund arts. And so a lot of the applications they received, they were able to inform the district on what was needed in these applications, and the district can take on paying for those items that need to happen at our sites. So they then free up their funds to fund other things, which is fantastic. They have 3 events coming. They have a turkey trot. There is a fundraiser concert from Cougar Bait, which has donated generously to us on numerous occasions. That is this weekend at Hot Monk, and they will be at the tree lighting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I as well did a site visit at Novato High in this last week. Attended the North Marin Council PTA meeting, which is made up of all the PTA presidents in the school district. They reported out what was being successful to them, what are some current positive things that they're doing, and then what are some challenges that they're facing. And I would say one of the challenges I heard often was volunteers. So I see a lot of parents in the audience, and if you have one split moment or time that you can give back to your child school, do that, because that's how what makes the school a better place is the makeup of the parents, the teachers, the staff. If you're all working in the same direction, headed in a positive direction, it makes the school even better. So if you have a little bit of time, that would be much appreciated, I know for sure with the PTA. Modeling the Way, we were able to go around and to 4 sites and honor 4 employees in our district, which is always a very uplifting thing that we get to do as trustees. And I also was able to get to Linwood for their Kermes Festival and had some wonderful food there. So, and then Novato High had their last football game for the season, and I was able to go to that as well. That's it. Thank you.
All right, they took everything I was going to share, because ditto, all of those things. But I would add that and Ross, you didn't comment, but you were present at the retirement. Did you want to share?
I will, and the superintendent and I both attended David Wayne Kuhn's retirement meeting at the College of Marin. He served 13 years, I believe, with this service. And College of Marin, during that time, has expanded the Indian Valley campus. There's a 50-meter Olympic class pool that is used every day by many people. The buildings at the front of the campus have been revised, so they do the clerk reporting and the medical reporting process. EMT work there, plus the auto shop has been rebuilt, plus the machine shop has been rebuilt, plus the campus is a bunch of trees that had overgrown the campus have been taken down. The roofs have been replaced. The fire department has a training center in what used to be the old library, plus there's a training kitchen that Paradise, the grocery store in that valley supports. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the name. So the amount of, and plus Rotary of Novato has partnered with the College of Marin, which is where the event was held, in a 450-seat venue that's just gorgeous. So all of a sudden, the Indian Valley campus is alive. The group, and at that meeting, the trustees announced they're naming the new Education Center building on the Kentfield campus after David Wayne Coop. So it was pretty special. A lot of people he's transformed the university from the college from one of controversy to one of support. The CTE program is centered up here in Novato, which it wasn't before. So some really good things have happened for Novato under his leadership. And our district, our superintendent has met with the incoming president of the college in terms of establishing additional college opportunities for our high school students. So the relationship of the college to the community is deeper than it's ever been before. So I guess it was a pretty eventful meeting. There was a lot of acknowledgement of wonderful things that have happened for the whole county, and particularly for the north end of the county here in Novato. So, and he will be missed, and Jonathan Eldridge will be taking his position January 2nd. And Jonathan has been with the college for the last 10 years and is very knowledgeable about what's going to happen. So I have great hopes for the future and acknowledgement for the great work that that David's done for the college. He's also led statewide in, there's a group of gay, lesbian superintendents and officers in the community college, and he serves statewide as the leader of that group to make sure that people from different parts of life and different structures can fully participate in the college systems in the state of California. And he's been the power behind that organization, and we're lucky to have him in our community. So that's a statewide effort that here in Marin County we don't always see, but he was acknowledged for that work as well. There were college presidents, I think 6 college presidents flew in from as far away as Arizona to acknowledge his retirement from his career. So maybe that wasn't maybe you were hoping for less, but it was pretty impressive.
We attended the event, correct. So I'm just going to keep my comments really brief. Thank you to our attendance teams at all our school sites for all your hard work, especially during No Miss November. And they just done some excellent work so far. We're very, very proud of them. And good luck to our elementary school sites and our teachers as they prepare for conferences next week. And we can't wait to see who's going to sign up to be in our schools the following year. We have transitional kindergarten and kindergarten registration is open, and we have upcoming informational nights. So you can come and learn more about our programs. And finally, I want to acknowledge our community liaisons and especially the Hamilton Mothers Club who've been involved with the Family History Day. It happened 2 weekends ago, Julie. And we they're working very hard to elevate the presence of the Latino history of Novato in our museums and in our narrative and how we speak about the history of Novato. So it's very enlightening, and they've done such great work. Oh, and this is for the group. There is a possibility that we will not need our November 28th board meeting. There's a possibility that we might need it. Okay.
All right, thank you. And if that becomes definite, we'll put a notice out regarding that. All right, we're going to move on to our presentations this evening. Normally we start off with a school presenting, but we have a special recognition this evening, and I'm going to ask Liz Seabury to come up. Oh, there she is. Yeah, go over to this one, yeah. Liz is the principal at Novato High, so I just want to make sure everybody.
All right, thank you, and thank you so much for having me here tonight. I appreciate the introduction. I'm so thrilled to see so many parents and kids out here because you guys are in for a treat. We're here tonight to recognize a student. And again, we could recognize all 1,484 of my adorable children over in the Hornet's Nest. But this one stands out, and I'm so excited for you guys to get to know her better. Alicia Lee is a senior at Novato High School. She is the youngest recipient of the highest honor that the U.S. Surgeon General gives anybody in the United States. Her work that you're going to hear about, because she talks about it way better than I can, did something that, as a school board, we all need to sit up and take notice. Her goal was to create a sense of belonging for middle school students. And I teach and work in high schools for a reason, because middle school is really, really hard. And the fact that this is a young woman who understood how important it was for middle schoolers to feel like they belong at their school, that she committed herself to a project that has influenced over 5 million middle schoolers in 10,000 middle schools across the nation with the work that she did. There's a reason why the Surgeon General picked her out. Her sense of belonging that we are all striving to do, and particularly her work of family history and supporting our AAPI community in a time where, unfortunately, our nation has taken out unbelievable discrimination against. Alicia, I live to be half the woman you are today. Come on up and tell them about it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Seabury, for having me here tonight. Let me get situated over here. Apologies. Okay. Thank you again. Hi, I'm Alicia Lee. I'm a senior at Novato High School, and I'm just so happy to be here and just share with you all my initiative. So let's begin. So it all started 3 years ago when I became a national team board member with the nonprofit organization Beyond Differences. And Beyond Differences' mission is to create a culture of belonging for others and to just reach those who felt isolated. And when I began as a national team board member, I learned that we had the power to just be the youth leaders for others. And we created curriculums for networked and partner schools across the country. And when I began as a national team board member, I started when COVID peaked. And as you know, that was when there was a high rise of anti-Asian hate crimes. And I just knew that with my platform, I had the power to use my story to reach others and to just make them feel less isolated and just to be the voice for others. And it's been a journey being as a national team board member. And I just remember being inspired by my childhood memories, creating origami paper cranes with my family. And I just used that as a guideline to create and spearhead my art project called the 1,000 Paper Cranes. And that is a traditional Asian art project. But I also added a little twist where each individual would write a message on a crane saying what they wanted to see from their community. So if they felt isolated, what they want to see from their guardians or advisors or staff from their school. And overall, the cranes would be tied together on a string, and that will overall be a symbol of connection and belonging. And that was my goal, to just make a visual of our mission as a national team board member of Beyond Differences. And after months of like drafts and research with my group, we published it, and I did not expect any of this. I did not expect to be recognized by the Surgeon General of the United States. This is all just overwhelming. I did not expect any of this. I did not expect to just meet him. And I think one of the biggest highlights was meeting him in Washington, D.C., and just receiving the award. And the award is called the U.S. Surgeon General Medallion Award, and it was a true honor. I'm truly grateful that my project resonated with him, and I'm excited to continue to amplify my work and just create an like inspirational way of like thinking that we should all just celebrate our differences, our individuality, and just who we are, instead of using that as a way to like divide one another. So thank you for having me here tonight. Oh, and thank you. And I'm not sure if you all can see, but this is my award, and I'm just very grateful to have this. And I'm grateful for my parents' support. I'm grateful for my mentors, and I'm just very honored to represent Novato High School. So thank you.
A little bit of love for you from all of us at Novato High.
Yeah. Congratulations. We'd love to do a photo right up here. If you can come right up here. Liz and, yeah, Tracy. Yes, yeah, why don't you go ahead? We have a couple comments from the board while we're doing the photos. Go ahead and. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, here we go. Great. Thank you so much.
Trustee Lametta has a comment.
Alicia, we are so lucky to have you in our school district. My friend is Major Kevin Cho, who is also a recipient, and you met him in Washington, D.C. After you got the award, he called me, and he was like, oh my God, I met one of your students, Alicia, and it's such a small world, but this one is such a special one because he just couldn't stop talking about you and how great he was, like how great you are, like you're just beginning and you're just gonna make a huge contribution in this society, and I'm really excited to follow your journey, and he's cheering you on. So just wanted to let you know, and thank you again for your contributions and your leadership.
All right. Well, that was exciting. We'll move on to Rancho. Rancho Elementary is here. Kath Nom, the principal, is going to start the presentation.
So if you're one of the presenters, you can come to the podium, and all of the singers, you can come sit down right here until we're ready for the song. You can sit right in front. Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe can we move that there? We have props. Okay. Awesome. And then, yeah. No, that's fine, because they'll figure out. You guys know what to do with these, right? This is the first one. And then
Good evening. Thank you for having us. And I want to start out by saying thank you to our community, all of the grown-ups who brought their kids here, and all of our staff who's come to support us. So we're very excited to be here tonight. We have our 5th graders here to talk to you about PBIS and some of the things that we are doing at Rancho to support positive behavior interventions and supports. And our amazing 5th grade teachers have helped lead all of this. So we have Mrs. Robles and Mr. Leffler. And so without further ado, I'm going to give it over to the students.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexandra Nita, and today I will be talking about our SOAR expectations. SOAR stands for staying safe, owning our actions, always caring, and being respectful everywhere. We also have SOAR expectations in classrooms, in the hallway, in the library, in the cafeteria, on the playground, and in the bathroom. For example, on the playground, we have to take turns, share, and listen to the yard supervisors. And in the hallway, we have to walk and be respectful by being quiet while we're passing. So over here, we have some examples of where you would find them. For example, while you're looking in the hallway, you can see some little reminders, as in you have to have a hallway pass, you have to keep your body to yourself, and some extra things. And then over here, we usually have this in our classrooms. It kind of gives us a reminder every day to like how we should be following our SOAR expectations. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I'm going to talk about the Eagle Eyes and the Eagle Eyes store. We can earn Eagle Eyes by following SOAR. Teachers, staff, and yard supervisor all give us Eagle Eyes. You can spend them or you can save them. We have an Eagle Eye store where you can buy things. We use a form to show what's in the store and can order the prices. Some of the things you can buy are bookmarks, eagle stickers, pencils, bracelets, brag tags, pennants, certificates, and an eagle plushie. Some of the things are really expensive and take a long time to earn. Here are some samples for you. We have a brag tag and an eagle eye. Wait, I need some of those. Hi, my name is Jack. We have an Eagle pledge that helps us go over the school rules, so we can remember to be safe, keep our school clean, and be respectful. Mr. Leffler, one of our 5th grade teachers, made a song out of the Eagle pledge. This helps us remember the pledge in a fun, helpful way. Now we are going to perform it to you.
Great job. Thank you, Rancho Eagles. Thank you, Mr. Leffler, for creating the song for us. And if we would like to
Do a
stay right
photo?
there, because I think you're in the perfect spot for the photo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any staff members who are here, come on up for the photo too. We have a lot of staff members, including our Modeling the Way Award staff member here tonight.
Nicely done, Rancho. I will take a moment if parents want to, and the kids want to not stick around. Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Our next presentation is the Zero Waste Pilot Program for Nevada Unified. Hi, Lisa. Hi. Welcome back.
Thank you. You really don't want me to sing. Is it this one? So this. Oh wait, actually.
Is it on the desktop?
My apologies.
No,
Oops, sorry.
You got it?
You showed me earlier. There it is. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you. If I would like to, if we can start with the kids, could the students who have been working for the green team please come up? It worked out perfectly that tonight's the night they were going to be here. When I came back to Rancho this year, last year I worked with Rancho. That was my specific school. And this year we've expanded out, and I returned to Rancho day one, when school started, thinking that we were going to have to restart this whole process over again. And the students literally stood up after eating and said, "Okay, we're here to help sort the waste at lunch." And they got right to it immediately, day one. They knew what they were doing. So I just wanted to bring up some of the students who have just truly been amazing. They are leaders in the school. They are always there. They do a phenomenal job. We have Charlie and William, Wendy, Maria, Juana, Kevin, Mateo. Kevin, where's Mateo? Okay, and Kevin, and what's your name? Abraham. So thank you so much. And these kids are dedicated. They do a great job. Okay, you can have a seat if you like. Thank you so much. Okay. So it's trying up here. All right. Okay, so I was here last year, and I presented on the NUSD Decarbonization and Zero Waste Pilot Program. And so I'm here today to give you an update. So last year we had some funding from the Rotary Club, which was incredible. It helped us get going at Rancho, but we didn't have any other funding really established yet. So I just wanted to let you know that this year, the state of California has contributed $200,000 towards the sustainability program here at NUSD through 6 California Climate Action Corps fellows. They are full-time for 11 months. And our 3 of the fellows I have here, okay, front row here, Katie, Grace, and Ashley. We have 3 more who are probably watching on YouTube right now. They are commuting more than an hour every day, the other fellows, so I did not ask them to be here tonight, but just an amazing, dedicated, hardworking, passionate about sustainability group of fellows who are now working all at individual schools and doing what I did last year at Rancho. So these are the fellows. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything there. I want to point out that they started on September 26th, and since that time, they have trained over 1,000 elementary school students on how to recycle and compost, and they have diverted 16,000 pounds of food and food waste
from landfill to back into the kitchen, if it's edible food, to students, to their families, to food banks, and anything we can't give back to our community, we then send to the composting facilities. So in 1 month, 16,000 pounds, and that to us was pretty amazing. Let's see here. Okay, so just an update on how we've expanded the program. Now we're working with 5 elementary schools, Rancho, Loma Verde, Lou Sutton, Pleasant Valley, and Linwood. And I want to make a point that Linwood, we're not actually doing their zero waste program. We are really fortunate. Zero Waste Marin, for the very first year, is now working in Novato. So they are doing the zero waste there and also at San Jose. But we are also involved in terms of greening the campus, for garden programs, for environmental literacy, and occasionally helping each other out on the programs. We're going to be working in Hamilton and San Jose. Hamilton, as you know, already has an amazing program for zero waste. Miss Anna is in charge of that program and does a phenomenal job. We're not changing a thing that she does. We're just going in and adding some signs and doing some training for the students and working with them on greening their campus. And we are working in Novato High School, which I am extremely excited about. We have not rolled out our waste stations there yet. We're really working on a campaign to really win the hearts and minds of students before we get in there and demonstrate how they can participate in climate action at their own school. And then Marin Oaks, I don't know if you remember last year, we had a student from Marin Oaks who was sitting right over there, and she had asked if I could come and work with their school. So I met with the culinary teacher, and we will be joining them in the new year. So just wanted to give you a quick update on that. So we have seen some amazing improvements with our food and nutrition services. They've made a lot of changes that have actually reduced the amount of waste in the schools. They have switched over to milk dispensers. Well, they've provided milk dispensers for 4 different elementary schools, and that really cuts the amount of waste, milk waste we have, by about half, which is pretty amazing. Currently, we only have it rolled out in 1 school. We're starting at Pleasant Valley tomorrow. And we're not doing it all at once because we really want to be there to provide the support that the kitchen staff needs. There's a transition period and the students have to get used to it. Ashley can tell us that it works really well once it gets rolling, but it does take a little while. And you have to have everything set up because kids are walking with a cup of milk. So you have to have it set up properly. Kitchen staff have really cut down on repackaging foods. Instead, they're just putting it on the trays that the students already have rather than putting them in yet another package. It's fantastic. Kitchen staff have been trained how to compost food waste, and they have compost containers. And I think I left this one off of here, but there was more information about they are also, the food nutrition program is also providing less packaged fruits and vegetables. Instead, they're just chopping up locally grown organic fruits, putting it on the salad bar. So they're not coming in a bag, and they're exchanging all those little ketchup packets that always end up in our compost for ketchup dispensers. So just really amazing work on the part of the food nutrition services. And we are also expanding the scope of our program a bit. We are working with Travel to Novato Schools Working Group. We're facilitating that group. It's Safe Routes to Schools, which everyone knows about, Novato Unified School District, the Police Department, and the City of Novato. And so we're working on increasing green trips. So the normal walking, biking, rolling, but also carpooling and public transit. And one of the reasons this is so important to sustainable Marin schools is because, and actually a large proportion of the emissions from cars, greenhouse gas emissions from cars, actually come from parents dropping off and picking up. And we also know that parents don't like the congestion around the school either. So we are working to decrease that congestion and introduce new ways to get to school that are healthier and better for the planet. We're also establishing the NUSD Sustainability Working Group. Last year, I referred to this as the district-wide sustainability committee. And so, of course, the goal is to really know what programs are going on at NUSD, how can we expand them, but the main goal, again, is to ensure the continuity of these programs year to year. And we've already identified people we're reaching out to get that group together. And finally, we just began to work with NUSD Gardeners Working Group. This is a group that had been meeting, all of the teachers from the gardens, the parents who are really involved, and so we're going to try to bring that group back together to meet regularly to talk about what they're working on, funding opportunities, and really what's important to me is the curriculum for environmental literacy. I also just wanted to share, that is my last slide, but I wanted to share that I presented at the National Zero Waste Conference on October 23rd to discuss everything that had happened at Rancho and our successes and talk with other schools that are trying to get to the same place. We also applied for several different sources of funding, and today we did hear back from School Fuel. And yes, we got some funding for outdoor classrooms at Rancho Elementary School. Yay. Yes, it's wonderful. And we're still waiting to hear back on some from the County of Marin. We're also applying for a food agriculture and in a resilient neighborhood or environment grant that's large and would really help our gardens, specifically maybe getting some funding for those garden teachers that are working in the schools. So that is just a quick summary. I have 5 minutes. I hope I fit it in there. Okay, awesome. We've been busy.
Very informative and brought us all up to date. You're making great progress and really making a difference. Thank you very much. So I would love to do any comments from the board? Okay, a photo with your fellows, with the Ashley, Grace, and Katie come up, and Lisa, you take a photo with them. That would be great. And if any Rancho students are still here and they want to be a part of the photo, yeah. Nice. Thank you.
President Butler, can I just ask a quick question,
Yeah.
Lisa?
Oh,
Quick question over here.
Abby. Yeah.
If there are families or students or parents in the community who are interested in supporting your work or being involved, I've heard people hear about this work and are excited to participate. Are there things that interested students or families can do to support this?
Absolutely. We have some families here who have already been helping with the recycling and composting, but it's one of those things where we really could use one adult to kind of help supervise these every day of the week. So if someone wanted to volunteer one day a week or partner with someone so it's every other week, that's great. We would love to see more parent involvement. And as far as the students are concerned, this is a silly thing to say, but we have a lot of compost monitors. They're so good. So what we're trying to do is expand into a green team where they're going beyond just, sorting waste, but they're learning environmental themes. They are doing hands-on projects. They're really learning about the school, like what kind of native plants we have. So we're expanding it in that way. And yes, all students are welcome. All parents are welcome. We will find something for you to do. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I have a quick question. Is there any way that San Marin can get involved in this? Because I noticed that we were one of the schools not listed. Is there anything I can do, or is that anything that the leading admin can do at our school just to be a part of this program?
Yes. We are reaching out to all the schools that are not currently on our list. We are reaching out to them this year to make sure that we get to them next year. And everyone's kind of doing it on their own timeline. I have reached out a couple times, but the timing is really important, and having a student who's expressing interest is important. So maybe talk to the principal, talk to some other students, and then I will get back in touch with the principal and see if when a good time is to meet. But yeah, I'd love to see that start up next year for sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do you have a sustainability club at San Marin?
I don't believe we do.
Oh, okay.
Noelle has one. There is a youth group there.
Oh.
Yeah.
It might have been just brand new.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say Noella is working a lot at San Marin around environmental, and actually she reached out to me because she wants to work on a resolution, so maybe I should connect you both. I think that would be the best thing to do.
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. That concludes our presentations this evening, so you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but if you'd like to leave, that's also your prerogative. So.
No. We don't have any we have no comments right now.
All right, I do not have any non-agenda public comment. I'll move on to our staff report this evening. And Superintendent Smith will be presenting our equity imperative update.
All right, good evening. The equity imperative has been established for several years here in this wonderful school district. And I say wonderful precisely because there's an equity imperative, right? That as a district, stating it very clearly as part of what our work is and what we do every day means a lot. It's part, I believe it's part of one of the reasons why I'm here, because equity is so dear to my heart as well. And to see it written down with such care and the intention behind having something that you reestablish every year and continue to look at and think about and consider is very significant and something that we should be very, very proud of as we continue to move forward. So in the update that you have in your board packets, everything that's in yellow is something that's new, right? Other than that, it is a template that Dr. Derby changed or updated maybe last year. And then the direction was to update new data, and the data does continue to demonstrate that we have some disparities in our outcomes for students along certain identity groups, including race and class and our economic status. So it really does highlight the continued need for an imperative. And we know that the whole purpose of the imperative is to close that opportunity gap and to change those outcomes for students. All of our work that we do around equity that we've talked about, including our big buckets around attendance and chronic absenteeism and also discipline, also fall into the equity buckets. They're not in this imperative per se, but they are things that we are continuing to look at as a district that matter. So everything that we do should be based on those data points so that we are actually seeing change that affects and influences students. And so I'm not going to go over each detail or say all those pieces, but I do want to say that the three things that Dr. Mohammed, who has been our consultant around equity, mentioned in April of last year had to do with professional development, really focusing on data and learning how to use data almost on a weekly basis to constantly and be improving what we do and offer for students. So an example of that would be something that we presented last month which was the chronic absenteeism. So that's a constant use of data every week. Meeting which students are here, how are we going to let them know they need to be here, how can we help them, right? And those constant check-ins is ultimately what makes a difference. So that is one thing that we need to continue to focus on. So and then most of our sites are working either in cohort 1 or cohort 2 with Dr. Mohammed this year. And then the second half of this year, a group of us need to get together and think about where our focus for professional development needs to be in the future. Is it going to be continuing with Dr. Mohammed? Is it going to be continuing with another expert? What's our area of focus in terms of next steps? So I think this is just a staff report, but happy to have a discussion around any of this.
Board members, anything? Nothing? Yeah, Trustee Pickus?
I want to just echo your sentiments, but also just appreciate that the equity piece is so important to you. I know for many of us, most of us, all of us, that's important to us as well. And I think that using our data to drive the decisions that we're making as a district, I think that's really important. And I think the attendance work that we're doing is pretty impressive, the turnaround that we're seeing in that. And so, one of the things that Dr. Muhammad talked about was initiative fatigue for our staff members. And I think that, that's really, really real. There's a lot of new initiatives that come forward and it's exhausting, but when you can see results, I think that's really validating for staff. One thing that stands out to me, and I know these are conversations that you and your staff are having, but looking at the ELA test results and just what we're seeing in our literacy data here, we still have a lot of work to do. And there's so much great research out there right now on best practices, the science of learning, science of reading, and it's just really important that as we are looking at specifically in our elementary schools, what we're doing with reading and making sure that our curriculum and our practices are really aligning with what we know science is telling us. So I know you're having those conversations as well, but I wanted to bring that out as well because we have a lot of work to do.
Anybody else? Trustee Mack.
I just want to acknowledge that this is not something that just started a year or two ago. This is something that has been going, since I first started on this board in 2015. And I have to look to Ross and Debbie to see how much was going on before that. But I don't know if it was much, but I know we dove in head first with some heavy work, and a lot of it was really necessary. And I know I've learned a lot, and I think it's important that we keep on doing this work. And while it might seem that we keep on going back at it, that's just the way life is, especially with topics like this that is really built into our culture that we have to constantly be aware of and address. But what I really see lately is true objective approaches for addressing it. And I'm really looking forward to really applying data matters to this whole topic, along with everything else, of course. But the idea of being able to drill down into gaps that we see from the district to the school to the classroom to the student, and actions built from the bottom up, actions built from the student to the classroom to the school to the district, because that's the only way we're going to do it. All too often we've been seeing uneven progress and regression, thanks to COVID, and other reasons. So anyway, my point being that this is fantastic work. We've got a lot more to do.
All right. Trustee Millerick.
So I think it's seconding what's been said before, which is clearly there's some issues. When you read the numbers, and I'm not going to read all these charts, but from the best performing grade level or group to the worst performing, it's just too wide a margin. But I had the opportunity to Sunday sit around for coffee with my daughter, who is teaching newcomer program at Terraland High School in mathematics, and we're discussing the challenges. But it's clear that those people in her class, those young people, are going to be the workers in this society going forward. Old people like me are going to retire and be done, and what's going to happen is this whole state of California, this whole country has to find a way to regenerate itself like it did when we were settling the West, and all those cowboy movies of people settling for the first time and becoming the new population. That transformation is still occurring. It's just occurring from a much broader part of the world. We have to find ways to be successful, and the magic story is that's K-12 education. the magic story is the magic is supposed to be happening in this district, in this town, and that's true about every town. And we have to find a way to be successful. And the community college work helps because that's a career path for some of our students who are not going to go to the University of Dartmouth or UC, but we have to find ways for them to be successful. And I think it has as much to do with them understanding their potential as it does with understanding a particular skill. And Ms. Pickus is sitting in a classroom doing exactly that work every day. I admire you for that. And but we clearly, this report says we have to think about this hard in Novato as well. This isn't somebody else's problem. This American problem is right here in this town, and we have to solve it. And, you know, I'm here so I can help, but clearly our superintendent's going to lead us in this exercise, and I'm thrilled to see you're bringing data forward that identifies places to work. And you're making it a public document, and I think that's the first step is look at the data, make it public, acknowledge the issue so everybody can focus on it. And there's some hard work, that's all there is to it. But there always has been. My grandmother came from, you know, the Azores Islands and Portugal, and they didn't speak English, and they managed to make their mark in this country, so thank you.
All right. If there's no other further comments, thank you for the comments that were made by our board members and bringing this forward to us. Thank you. Okay. The final item for discussion action, we'll move on to discussion action. We just have one item this evening. This is approval of a resolution number 7, 2324, authorized signatures for the 24-25 California State Preschool Program, otherwise known as CSPP, continued funding application.
Good evening, trustees and Dr. Smith. I bring forward this item to you seeking approval of resolution number 7 to authorize the signatures for the 24-25 California State Preschool Program continued funding application. The funds earned from this contract between NUSD and the California Department of Education will support operating preschool programs on elementary school campuses. The superintendent and staff recommend the approval of this resolution to authorize these signatures.
All right. I get a first and a second if there's no further discussion or questions. Okay, and then I'll do a roll call vote. First by trustee Mack, second by trustee Jacobson. A roll call vote. Trustee Millerick. Aye. Trustee Pickus.
Aye.
Trustee Lametta.
Aye.
Trustee Gasson.
Aye.
Trustee Mack.
Aye, aye.
Trustee Jacobson.
Aye.
Trustee Butler is aye. So that does pass. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So that concludes our meeting this evening. Our next, may be a possibility, but most likely canceled, our meeting on the 28th. Otherwise, the next meeting after that is in December, where we have 3 meetings set up in a row. So those will be noticed when that opportunity comes around. This meeting is adjourned.